Hey, I'm Joe, and this is Joe,
Hi, I'm Joe,
and we're just average Joes.
and we are going to try our hand at making things,
But to make things, you need a surface to work on, and we don't have one.
as you can see. So our first project is going to be to make a workbench.
Yeah. So, yeah, let's get cracking.
Okay, so first things first, we found some plans on the internet, but they were in inches, meaning that they were pretty useless in a country where we work with millimeters and centimeters. We ended up using the basic structure but converted everything into millimeters. This turned out to be a great thing when we went to buy the wood, seeing as the supplier sells 3-meter long pieces, meaning that we could cut them into 4s for legs and the longer side supports. The measurements we ended up using was as follows. The legs are 4 pieces of 70mm by 70mm beams, each 750mm long. This will give us a good height considering we are adding wheels to it. Then we need 4 pieces of 68mm by 30mm planks, 1.5 meters long each. This will be used for the long sides of the leg support as well as the long edges under the surface. Next up is 4 pieces of 68mm by 30mm planks, 750mm long. This will be used for the short ends of the leg support as well as the shorter edges under the surface. And last but not least, the surface, which measures 1.5 meters by 750mm. On top of that, we had to purchase wheels, sanding paper and screws, to put it all together. But enough talking, let's get building.
Right, so we're back from the hardware store. We got our wood, screws, sandpaper,
And wheels.
and wheels. We're just about ready to start.
Yeah, this is the surface. This was cut out of a larger piece of wood by the hardware store. And the reason they did it is because we don't have a workbench or the correct tools to cut this yet. The good thing about this is that it came out of a larger piece of wood, so we've got some nice offcuts over here. Okay, so I'm just going to show you the wood that we've cut, and this one still needs to be cut. So let's start with the 4 longer sides. So this is what they look like. There's 4 of these. Let's see how we're going to fit this into there. There. Okay, and then those are the shorter pieces.
Yeah.
There are 4 of these as well.
Yeah.
They will be, so on the long ends it will go like this, and then these will sit over it like this at the bottom frame, and at the top it will sit like this. But it'll all make better sense once we obviously start putting it all together.
Yeah. So this is the final piece to cut. So we're going to cut this now, and then we can start assembling.
Yay! So that was a lot more work than we thought.
Yeah, so we were cutting the wood. We had a miter saw that didn't work. The wood was too thick. That's a back saw. We bought that either doesn't work or we're just useless at using it.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty sure this is the right one for the job, but
Yeah, we tried a jigsaw. The blades were too short, so we had to resort to a plain old hacksaw.
and
Which we don't know if it's the right tool for the job, but hey, it worked.
it did the job. It was hard work, but it's done. So now we can start assembling the bottom frame.
Yeah.
And put the legs together with the bottom frame. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's get going. Okay, so let's see how wobbly this thing is. I think it's gonna be level. Well, relatively level. Dude, that's fucking level.
Yeah! Right, so as you can see, we have assembled the frame. There's a lot more work than we thought it would be. We struggled to line things up a bit, but we got there, and it's pretty solid. Doesn't shift around. And we're just going to put the surface on top to see if everything is actually level.
Okay, so now that the surface is attached to the framework, all the wooden parts are pretty much assembled. So we're going to add these wheels to it with a locking mechanism, just so that we can move this thing around because it's quite heavy.
Yeah, we got shorter screws, and we bought these little washers so that we can, because the screws are a bit tapered at the end, and just so that it doesn't move around when we screw it in.
Yes.
Cool, let's get going. Cool, the wheels are on now, so now let's get this baby sanded.
Yeah. Okay, so now that the surface is sanded, we can just seal it. And the reason for sealing it is simply because it's not a solid piece of wood like the rest of the table, the surface that is. And if we put something dirty on it, we don't want it to stain it or anything like that. Yeah. So we're just going to use a clear varnish on it. That'll harden it a bit and it will also seal it.
Cool, let's keep going. So sealant is dry, and I think you'll agree it's looking pretty good. Yeah, we're pretty happy.
Yeah, so now we can start doing any other of the projects that we are going to do on here. And we really hope you had as much fun as we did making this.
Great. See you guys next time.
Bye.